Hello, my name is Devaney, and thanks so much for tuning into Short Not Sweet. And this week, I really wanted to do a video around a central question, and that question is, do you have to be rich to be fashionable? Do you have to be rich to have style? All these things. And I feel like, just to start off the video, for me, the answer is obviously no. You don't have to be rich to be fashionable. But this is just something that I've been seeing in the zeitgeist, on the internet, just kind of people touching on that. I feel like I've seen videos about like how to look rich, basically how to attain that old money aesthetic, videos about like brands that are more old money versus like Nouveau riche, or the newly rich look. And what kind of brands are those? Like the old money aesthetic is Brunello Cucinelli or Loro Piana versus the Nouveau riche, which maybe they like more shouty brands with like lots of logo all over it or monogram all over it, or just those like quintessential pieces that let people know like, hey, I have money, because they're newly rich. They have to like broadcast that. And then you see like those stereotypical, like those cliches about wealth versus new money. Kind of like wealth whispers, but money talks. Like, because money is very loud. We have to broadcast that we have a little bit of money. Whereas wealth, like, they don't have to worry about that because they have so much money. They can just do whatever they want. It's just so deeply ingrained in them, they don't even have to broadcast that. And I just like, I don't know, I'm just so conflicted when I hear things like that, because the central point of it is aspirational. It's almost like we should aspire to look rich. Like richness is inherently, or wealth, the look of wealth is inherently better than another type of look. And of course, everybody wants to, money makes life a lot easier. Of course, having money is a lot easier than not having it. So I get that aspect. But when it comes to style and fashion, why would we aspire to look whatever wealthy looks like, right? And I saw a tweet recently. I wanted to read it. I think the person who tweeted, her name was Cora. I'll put it up on the screen. And I saw it a couple weeks ago, and I've just been thinking about it ever since. And she says, honestly, the crux of the fast fashion conversation for most consumers is that they think it's beneath them to have one winter coat they wear for 5 years or one dress they've worn so often people recognize it. The underpinnings are rich people cosplay. And I just found that tweet so interesting. I agree with some parts of it, disagree with others. Maybe I'm just not intellectual, enough to understand it all the way, and I'll be that. That's fine. But I just really wanted to talk about this and the different things she touches on, because I think it's so, so interesting. First of all, the idea of us acquiring like multiple pieces, or trying to have more than just the basics, or just having one really good thing in each category. And fast fashion really does make that possible. You can have a coat, for every occasion, a coat in every color. And if you're like me, you love shopping, like that's something that you're interested in anyway. Now, why am I interested in that? Because the last sentence in her tweet is the underpinnings, or the last phrase is the underpinnings are rich people cosplay. Now, is that something that I'm doing because I am aspiring to look like I am rich? I don't know. Like, why? What is it in me that says, you know what? You love boots, so you need to have a boot in every color for every occasion, rather than one or two really good pairs of boots. I have to interrogate that. Am I trying to live life like a rich person or something like that? Or am I living life like a person who really loves boots and has an issue, who has a problem when it comes to boots? This is something that I've been thinking about, and just like getting into that, having lots of pieces, when I think about, we're in this like very Instagram heavy culture where people are always perpetuating, always having to hone their image and present something to the public, where people might wear something once and post it on the gram. And once they post it, they're like, well, no, I can't post anything wearing that again. I can't wear that again because I posted that and it's too, maybe it's a very notable dress or something like that. So you don't want to post it again because people are going to recognize it, And even if you want to post it again, you might get in your feelings because you might get comments from people. People who have way less than you might be giving, there's nothing wrong with that. But people, they are like kind of we're so used to constantly being presented with new things. We're used to seeing influencers always wearing something new, wearing something different that we don't have. So when you see an influencer re-wearing things, some people, they might send them nasty comments, get in their DMs like, you're wearing that again? As if it's not totally normal to re-wear your clothes. And so this is something that I think about a lot, because my favorite influencers are people that re-wear things, and so I'll give an example. Like, one of my favorite influencers is Janae from High Low Lux. That lady, she's got style for days. She just does not miss. But the reason why I started following her in the first place wasn't because she had great style. It's because I was interested in buying the Prada Monolith boots. And when I went on her page, I saw that she had bought them and wore them a multitude of ways. And I think she bought them back in 2019, and we're in 2023, and I've still seen new looks that she's turned out in these boots. And she should be doing that, because those boots retail for like $2,000. You better be wearing and re-wearing those things. But that's not normal for a lot of influencers. Like, especially like the really big ones, you'll see an outfit once and you'll never see it again. And I think it like ties into that rich people cosplay from this tweet, like just kind of perpetuating that idea of, oh, you can't wear it more than once because you gotta just keep, this is what wealth looks like. And I think that's just it. It just comes to my next question is, do you want to look rich, and what exactly does that mean? Because the actual wealthy people, I would imagine they have washing machines. They have access to going to cleaners. I'm sure they go to the dry cleaner sometimes. And so it's like, wealthy people are re-wearing their clothes. So you, in cosplaying as rich, why wouldn't you re-wear your clothes? And just, coming off of that point, what does it mean to look rich? What does it mean to look wealthy? Think about some of the tech billionaires out there and the things that they're wearing. Mark Zuckerberg is not a style icon. I've heard something recently like, oh yeah, he has a simple hoodie on, but it's Brunello Cucinelli. Girl, I still don't want it. I still do not want to look like Mark Zuckerberg. Like, he is not someone who I want to emulate his style. Like, and and so when I hear about like, the wealth whispers conversation and the, how to look wealthy, it's like, why are we aspiring to look like people who don't have style? And a lot of times, a lot of wealthy people, they have access to like personal stylists, personal shoppers, all these kind of things that we don't have access to, and they still don't got it. They still don't have it. I mean, if you go into like Saks and you see people, pulling different clothes, they be looking regular as hell. They do not be killing it. And so when I hear people talk about, how to look rich, it's like, well, what exactly does that mean? Because a lot of rich people do not have personal style. And another thing is, I often hear people say, I don't have enough money for the style that I want to have. I can't afford my actual style. Like, this is something I hear all the time. I think that's what I'm really trying to get to. Like, just because you're rich doesn't mean you have style, and just because you're not rich doesn't mean you can't have your own personal style. And that's really what I'm, trying to dig into, because, I mean, like, if you start dressing in Brunello Cucinelli or Loro Piana, like, does your bank account change? Like, do you get some extra zeros? Like, are people convinced that you're rich? And so if you have strangers convinced that you have more money than you actually have, what then? Like, what happens then? Like, there's still no difference. Like, you're trying to impress people that don't give a crap about you, and a lot of times who can do nothing for you. And it's just, I don't know. It's just something that I'm always kind of thinking about. And in terms of like not having enough money to have your personal style, I always think about, yes, when some special pieces are very expensive and they can make such a huge difference in your wardrobe, but you don't have to be rich to afford a couple of special pieces. You can save up and buy those things, right? And I mean, you can also get special pieces vintage for a fraction of the price. You can get special pieces that are from Etsy that are not so much money at all. You can get special pieces, if you have a good eye, you can get special pieces from regular, run-of-the-mill retailers on the high street. And so style to me is just so subjective, and I don't think you need to be rich to have it. I mean, because I think there's a lot of rich people that don't have it, right? So I don't know. I don't have any like concrete conclusions here. This is really something that I just wanted to talk about because it's been like kind of rolling around in my head. What do you think? Do you need to be rich to be fashionable? Do you think that rich people have better style? And why do we aspire to that old money aesthetic? Like, because a lot of times old money aesthetic is, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little boring. It's a little, I have to say, it's a little boring to me. All right, so that's all for me. Hopefully this was interesting. If it wasn't, you'll consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel. You can also check me out at shortnotsweet.com. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram at shortnotsweetdevaney. I promise I will not be giving off the old money aesthetic. You will not see that there from me. Thank you so much for watching, and please, please take care of yourself. Bye.